Hi, welcome back to my book channel. My name is Lydia Mathis and I have a book problem. Let me break down to you, actually, how much of a book problem I have. So, I own 1,831 books. And of those 1,831 books, I have read 651. That's not good. That means I have 1,180 books unread. I have a problem. And this year, my goal is to begin rectifying that problem. How do I do that? Obviously, by actually reading the books I've bought and owned instead of only buying new books, reading some of those, and reading mostly books on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah. So, my idea for this year, besides my reading goal, which is to read 130 books, my other goal was to read at least 50 books this year that I bought before 2025. So that is one of my main goals. And we have a pressing problem that coincides with this, which is I'm running out of book space. Obviously, I have 1,000+ books on my shelves that I haven't read. And I don't know if I'll like. I don't know if I'll actually get to. Sometimes I look at my shelves, I'm like, I'm probably never going to read that. I bought it like, who knows, 5-7 years ago. And I was interested in it then. And I should have read it then, but I did not. And that's my fault, I know. But there's a lot of books on my shelves taking up shelf space. And right now, I've been reading a lot of romance because the world is horrifying and I need peace. And romance have happy endings. So I've been reading a lot of romance, which is why I've been reading a lot of Kindle Unlimited, because I typically prefer paranormal, alien, monster, Omegaverse. When it comes to romance, I'm on the paranormal side. So that's what I typically prefer to read. And those are typically not what traditional publishing publishes. In traditional publishing, we're getting mostly contemporary romances. And I do pick them up from time to time. I picked them up enough that actually my romance shelf was running out of space. And because I do buy mostly romance right now, I do buy a lot of fiction, and fiction is almost full. That's coming in another video. But right now, I buy a lot of romance. That's what I buy most often. And I'm running out of space in that shelf. So I decided to do a sort of TBR takedown, a little read it on or unhaul it like the people of YouTube have been doing at the moment. The other day, I was looking at my romance shelf and I looked at it and I was like, there's like 10 books on the shelf or 5 at least, that I know I just definitely don't want to read. And there's a couple others that I want to give a chance, but I probably will DNF it. And so that's how we are here, because that other day I just took a bunch of books off the shelf. So there is some we'll look at the shelves. There's a little bit of space now because I took ones that I definitely knew I wasn't going to read. But there's ones on the shelf that I want to give a chance before I completely unhaul them. So my idea for this little video, for this little read it or unhaul it challenge, is to pick one book that I soft DNF'd before, to pick one book that I've DNF'd, that I'm pretty sure that I will DNF. Like, the vibes is giving I'm going to DNF, but I want to give it a chance first. And then I want to pick a book just randomly using a random number generator. And I'm doing it this way because if I'm reading books I think I'm going to DNF, that means I'm creating space on the shelf. But I also don't want this video to just be all negative. I want there to be a chance for me to read a book I'm going to like and that I will keep. So that's how I've decided to do the picking for the reading. So let's take a look at the romance shelf. Okay, this is my romance shelf. The romance shelf is this entire bottom. So all the way from here to right there, that's all romance. As you can see, like I said, there's a little bit of space that I've made, and that's because I pulled out some books that I already knew I wanted to give away. They're mostly here. A lot of Katie Robert, because I decided that me and her just don't mix. I read The Dragon's Bride, and it took me months to finish it, and that book is like less than 200 pages, I think. I tried to read Neon Gods, I DNF, and I just think that me and Katie Roberts will just never agree. So I got, I think, 3 Katie Roberts. There's like this small one right there is another Katie Robert. And then this book, This Love, I think I picked up when I was in Ireland a few years ago. And this book, I think I just bought it because it was like a deal. And I was like, yeah. And I think a friend gave me this. Gabriel's Inferno, I tried. I DNF in the middle. And then Message in a Bottle, I don't think I'm going to read. Just like that, I tried to read some of it and I was like, nope. And then there's some poetry here because I also need to make space in poetry because it's also full. But that's for another time. So, romance. Romance. We're going to pick first a book that I soft DNF'd. And then we'll pick the book that I believe I'll DNF. And at the end of the video, for the last book, we'll do the random number generator. Okay, so for the book that I soft DNF, I have I'm So Not Over You by Kosako Jackson. And this book is about 2 guys who were dating and then they broke up. And so Ken, our main character, he hasn't heard from his ex-boyfriend in months. But then suddenly his ex-boyfriend Hudson calls him and asks him for a favor to pretend to be fake boyfriends for his parents. And that's really all I know and remember from the book. So I started reading this and really I put it down because, okay, one thing about me, if things starts to get cringy, I will check out because I feel cringe like it is happening to me, and that is also 10 times worse. You know, I feel it to such a degree that it's almost painful. And there were just some moments in here that were starting to be like real cringy at the beginning when when I think Hudson is taking Ken to meet with his parents, you know, after they decided to be fake boyfriends, and the energy was just so cringe. I was dying inside. But I'm gonna give it another chance because I don't read a lot of contemporary romance, and just statistically speaking, there's not as much gay romance published traditionally. We don't see that as often in traditional publishing and contemporary romance, and so I don't have many contemporary gay romance, and so I really want to give the ones that I pick up a chance, especially since I don't pick up contemporary itself often, so I'm not seeing a lot of gay romance in the contemporary often as well. So I'm going to read this to give it a chance, one more chance. I'm gonna try to power through that first cringy scene, but I'm telling you, if they keep doing it, I'm not gonna finish it. Okay. Calm down, Lydia. Okay, next I have a book that I think I'm going to DNF, and that is Punk 57. Now, when I bought this, did I buy it because I read the back and I was like, ooh, interesting? No, it's because I kept seeing it on TikTok. I saw it on TikTok so often that like a part of me started to feel left out. And then I heard it was a bully romance. And at one point, and at, points that come back to me, I am interested in bully romances. They have to be done a certain way, but they do get my goat sometimes. So I picked it up, really based off peer pressure, but I'm not expecting to love it. It's just like, I feel like the general vibe I get from people talking about it, I don't think I'll like it. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like it's hard to do a bully romance right in a way that you don't want to like, just the guy usually because they're the bully. But I'm going to give it a chance because I bought it. I paid money for it. So I'm going to give it a chance because I do think if it somehow manages to do it right, I will be interested. So those are the 2 books that we know we're reading for this video. And then when I finish these 2, we'll come back with a random number generator for the last book. And hopefully it's something good that I'll love and not another DNF, so we can have some positivity for the video. So I'm going to go ahead, pick a book to get started, and I'll see you back for my first thoughts. Okay, just popping back in, just in case you were wondering the statistics for romance. So for romance, we have 144 books in romance. and I believe 100 unread, meaning only 44 read. That's what we got. Just in case you were curious about those statistics. Now back to the video. Sorry if you can hear football being played from the other room. I'm going to start reading I'm So Not Into You. My goal is to get at least 5 pages past where I soft DNF last time. I don't remember what page that was, and I don't have a bookmark in here, but I'll know it when I get to it. So my goal is to get at least 5 pages past that. And if I still want to DNF, then I think I'll give myself that permission. Listen to this. Divya has always been my rock, no matter what. Whether keeping me from embarrassing myself when I started crying in the club 2 weeks after my breakup, making sure I got my worthless self out of bed so I didn't lose my partial scholarship, or even finding some men with absolute dump truck asses to help me get over my head over heels obsession with Hudson. Divya has been that ride or die friend for me. Dump truck asses. Okay. It's just the cringy lines for me. Okay. Doing something like waiting for the boy who broke my heart, who is now 7 minutes late, and staring at the email that could change my career, that confident facade is pushed far back into the closet, a place I haven't been since middle school. Really? Okay. He fiddles with things when he's nervous. Truly, actually worried. It's just so rare that I see it. It's almost as common as finding. It's almost as. Uh, it's about as common as finding a bad picture of Beyonce. And at that moment, I've never been so happy to be black. Not only because black don't crack, but because the way the blood rushes to my cheeks would make me look like an overly ripe tomato. And there's nothing sexy about tomatoes. He literally just said, I kid you not, record scratch. The main character literally just said in his thoughts, record scratch. The straw has been placed on the camel's back. this is this. I think this is where I give up. This guy says you can't be friends with your ex. Whoa, Divya chimes in, looking up from her phone. I'm the president of the I Hate Husband Club, but that false. Look, I hate siding with the white man, but I think Todd's right, Jamal adds. Thank you, Todd chimes in. Don't get too excited, colonizer, Jamal replies. That is just so, I don't know, it's so online speak. I hate to say it is almost towing the line of millennial core, not in a good way, but I think this is enough for me. I unfortunately I did not make it. I read a little into the third chapter. I got to the middle of page 18, and yeah, it's not for me. I think I don't even remember where I ended. I think I got to let's see. I think I got to about page 40 the last time. I'm stopping on 18. I made some notes here while I was reading, so I could give you something substantial, which is there were a few things besides what I said. There were so many similes and metaphors, and I feel like when you start overusing similes and metaphors, it becomes a crutch to stand in the place of good description, characterization, or setting, because like I said, your over reliance on metaphors and similes just means that you're not you can't, I don't want to say you're bad at characterization, setting, and description, but you're not great. your range, maybe that's the word, the range is small. Your range is small, and I need you to expand. I need you to expand. And then besides that, there were so many allusions to pop culture. There's literally 2 allusions to Beyonce in the first 15 pages. 2. Beyonce came up twice in the first 15 pages. And there was mentions of X Factor. There was other pop culture references. And this, I only got in the first 18 pages. There was too many. Too many. It just, it ages your book, when you have so many pop culture references. It really stagnates the book and puts it into a certain time period. Let's not. And the final thing is that it was the writing style, the voice. It was sort of like the kind of writing it's like that one clip of Sky Jackson when she's doing the audition.
Sales rack Sally isn't even clever. If you're going to deface someone's locker, at least make it original. It's even worse than DIY Diane. I don't get it, I'm a freshman.
It's giving that, but like make the writing gay and for adults. It's a kind of Disney-like acting post 2010, post 2010 Disney acting. That's what the writing was giving. So it wasn't for me, babes. Good morning. I just, today's one of those days where you don't feel like getting out of bed. So good morning. I'm about to read Punk 57. I have it on Kindle, so I will not be reading it like, this or whatever. Okay, just from opening the book, I see that there's a playlist at the beginning. That playlist is very of a time. It's very, very of a time. There's a lot of Bring Me the Horizon, and there's a little Linkin Park, I think. We got Theory of a Dead Man, Linkin Park, Pink, All American Rejects, that's definitely of a time. Eminem, couple pages in, and is this high school? They talk like high schoolers. Hello, I got out of the bed. Me and my family may or may not be going to the fair today, so whatever. But I just came back to say that this is my petition. This is my petition to beg romance writers to stop with the pop culture references. Stop dating your book, okay? There has been references to Star Wars, Teen Mom, and that book that shall not be named. And we're still only like in the first 30 pages. So stop it. Also, I think someone's dead, but we'll see. Say hello, Mom. Okay, a little bit further into Punk 57, and I'm like, what year is this we're in? You have to hide that you have asthma, that you like taking art. This can't still be going on. This can't still be going on. Either that, or it's a issue for the suburbs or whatever. Yeah, because you have to hide that you have asthma. But if you don't pump that inhaler and go to class, what? Okay, I thought she was just a pretender, like just flying under the radar by trying to appear like the cool kids, but taking part in bullying others. Oh yeah, she's got to get what's coming to her. I just want to say, whatever that whole scene with Twilight, that whole monologue thing, lame, garbage, shouldn't have been put in. Ugh, horrible. Hello, good afternoon. So I think I'm about 80 something pages into Punk 57. It's, the writing to me is going better than how it was, and I'm still not over you. There's like not as much cringy writing. There is some cringe because of all the like high schoolers being high school shenanigans, but the writing is like readable. I'm 80 pages in, so that tells you something. I don't know if I'm wanting the pacing to be faster, just a little faster, or it's just that I don't care about anything besides the relationship. And I think it's a combination of both, but mostly that I don't care about anything that's happening besides the relationship. And I just wanted to have it faster, probably because they're making me anxious. I don't know what they're about to do to each other. Like the threats flying between them and the yeah. So I'm still going. I haven't felt the like overwhelming need to DNF. There was in the beginning I was like, do I want to read this? But I'm persevering. Anyways, today is the day that I'm going to the bookstore. It just worked out that way. My little cousin who lives abroad is in town, so I want to go to the bookstore with her. So I thought I might as well take the books I want to sell to half-price books today. Even if I DNF Punk 57, it'll live in my bookshelf for at least a couple more weeks. But I am still reading it. But we're about to take a trip to Half Price and maybe Barnes & Noble. We're getting rid of all of these, like I said. These in this little shelf. I think it's 12 books, 12 or 13, and hopefully we find some good stuff at Half Price and Barnes & Noble today while I'm hanging with my cousin. But I'll be back to reading later in the day, so let's go. Okay, I'm back. I went to Half Price Books and then I went to Barnes & Noble, and I also got a package in the mail. So let me just show you what I have. So at half price, they gave me, I think, $10 and some change for all the books I brought, which is, you know, that's fine. But I got some pretty cool stuff. So first I got a poetry handbook by Mary Oliver. I'm really thinking about writing and getting into poetry, so I saw this and I picked that up. And then this might be one of the most special purchases of the day, but I got the first season of Charmed on DVD. This was all they had in there, and it was the first season. I was like, that's very cool. And Charmed is like one of my favorite shows of all time, and I really have been thinking about buying the physical versions of it, so I went ahead and got this, and I'm very excited to own this physically. So that's what I got at half price. And then I went to Barnes & Noble, and I really just got a lot of manga. So I got Cherry Blossoms After Winter Volume 2. I've read, I think, a good portion of Cherry Blossom via the interwebs. I always stopped, there's like I think it's maybe the end of one season, or maybe end of season 1 or season 2 of the webtoon where I stopped because the art style kind of changed, and it always throws me for a loop. But I think it might be easier to get through reading it physically, because by the time we get to that change in the art style, I'll have spent some distance from the previous art style whenever the book is published, so I think it'll be fine. Then let's see, let me just go through all the manga first. So I got Palace of the Omega volumes 1 and 2. I haven't read, obviously, either the first. I haven't read the first one, and that is risky. That's risky, but look, I love me an Omegaverse book, so I went ahead and got both of them since I was there. Let's see. Then I got Ask and You Will Receive. I saw this, it looked intriguing, so I went ahead and got this. Then I got Pink Heart Jam Beats. I read the first 2 books that were like, I think this kind of counts as like a sequel series to the original, because the original is Pink Heart Jam and this Pink Heart Jam Beat, but I'm excited. I love that series. So, and then I got Worst Soulmate Ever Proposal. This is the second book in this little series, so that should also be good. And then I got I got a poetry book. I got Selected Poems by Gwendolyn Brooks. I'm really, like I said, trying to get into more poetry. And then I got Bird by Bird, Some Instructions on Writing and Life. This, just from what I saw when I looked at it on my computer one day, it has some interesting stuff to say about writing. And I'm always up to read more about the craft. So I got that. And then I just got this book in the mail today. I know what it is. I was actually like shocked when I found out about this book, because I did not know it existed until it just randomly came up on Amazon, and I was like, oh, I didn't know they had that. But it is Red Sword by Bora Chong. If you know me, I love Bora Chong. I love her book Cursed Bunny and Your Utopia. I knew she had another book coming out later this year called The Midnight Timetable, but I hadn't heard about this one, and I didn't know that this existed or was a thing. I think I might have heard about it on, maybe it was Amazon, just Amazon, or possibly TikTok, but I'm pretty sure it's just Amazon. So this I'm pretty super duper excited for, especially because it was just like a surprise to know it existed, since I follow the translator of her books on social media, so I pretty much know whenever she has a book coming out. So that's why I was really shocked about it. So that's what I picked up today on my little book shopping trip. I really should go on a book buying ban. This is why I have the problem I have. Like, you saw, how many books did I get? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then if we count the one I just got in the mail, that's 10. So I traded in 12 books and I have 10. So we're only -2. It's raining outside, but I read a little bit more of Punk 57. There's something, It's not bad per se, but I just find myself not wanting to read it. And I don't know if it's because I'm doing it for this challenge specifically, but or that I bought new books. But even before then, I just find myself not wanting to read it. Like, I would probably be further in. Like I said, I think I've been reading it I think I started reading on the 1st of May, and today is the 3rd. And honestly, if I was really into it, I would be further. But I just keep stopping for a lot of the day, and just now when I started back reading it, I was definitely like, I'm reading this because I have to read this. So yeah, I need things to move faster. Like, let's just get to business. Let's get down to business, please. I'm just trying to eat my little meatballs, but this man keeps growling. Why does this man keep growling in this book? That is not normal human behavior. The only things that should growl are animals and characters in Omegaverse books and stories. You, as a normal human man, should not be growling this much. It's 1 a.m., so it's technically May the 6th, which means I started this on May the 1st, and so it's annoying to me that I've been reading it for like 5-6 days. Don't enjoy that. But it's also crazy to me that I'm not hating it, because just the way people talked about this book sometimes, I really thought I was just going to outright, flat out, not enjoy it. Yeah, I can't say I'm hating it. I'm laughing. Some stuff is cringe. You know what I think it is? I think it's that there's something about this book that is, I'm like, in my heart, I'm feeling like, I don't want to say giddy, but I'm feeling nostalgic, you know? It reminds me of stuff I was reading in high school, but without all the graphic smut. And it's just, I don't know, just like this high school dynamic. It's just, I'm kind of eating it up right now. I'm kind of eating it up. It reminds, the nostalgia. And I'm in my, bedroom upstairs. So all my like YA books are here. Like, can you see those up there? All my like YA stuff. A lot of Sarah Dessen, Suzanne Colasanti, what's that one lady? Katie McGarry, I'm just feeling the nostalgia for the contemporary YA I used to read. I finished the book. I finished it. Like, I've read it in its entirety. I am shocked. Cue that meme.
I'm shocked. This is shocking news. Shocking. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I really did not think I was gonna like it. I thought I was gonna DNF, but like, I was reading and I kept reading, and then I stayed up all last night, and then when I woke up at like 1 p.m. this morning or afternoon, because I was up all night, I finished the book, and now I'm done. And I really kind of enjoyed it. It was very nostalgic. It reminded me of books I used to read when I was in high school, a lot of contemporary YA, but this is obviously this should probably be under new adult, but whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really fun, is the thing. It was fun. There were some moments, like I said, that were kind of cringy, but for the most part it was fun. And I loved when Ryan just like talked back, I love when a girl just has quick wit. This is why I used to really love watching Veronica Mars, because her wit, you're not gonna say anything to her that she doesn't have a comeback for. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, that's how Ryan was, except for like at the end when her entire recent world has like changed up, so I could forgive it a little that she wasn't as quick on her feet. But still, she held her own throughout the book, even though in the beginning she was a little, awful person. And I know that was the intention of the author, because I did read the like author's note at the end or whatever. And I know it was like the author's intention to show a character or heroine that was a little bit more complicated. Yeah. And so well, at the beginning I did think, I was like, there's some comeuppance and it's coming for her, And it did a little bit. The story was done well. The story was done well. What can I say? And I enjoyed it. It was fun. trying to decide what to rate it. I'm thinking 3.5, and I'm like, am I only thinking 3.5 because it's like, you know, Punk 57, and I feel like it shouldn't be that high, because I did enjoy it. So, and I think I might land on a 4. That feels crazy to me. So yeah, that's where I'm at, between a 3.5 and a 4, but I think I'm gonna land on a 4. I think I'm gonna land on a 4. Now that that's out of the way, it's time to pick the last book of the video. So I just took out Punk 57 because that was in this spreadsheet. So by the way, for the spreadsheet, what I did was I went to my full spreadsheet, and then I have this like all ordered in this nice way that took forever to do. So what I did was I cleared all the genres out and just clicked on all the romance books, and then I filtered out all the ones that I had already read, and then I copied it over into this sheet, and I just took out Punk 57. I need to also take out King's Rising by C.S. Picot because I'm reading that for another video right now, so I'm not going to read it for both. All right, so we have in this spreadsheet 98 books. All right, so let's see. Let's open. We'll go to random number generator, and we'll put in 98. Oops, 98. Okay, so is this cricket? Let me just turn you. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, okay, I don't think I should be able to pick, this is hard. I don't think I should be able to pick more than one book. Should I give myself options, or should I just, like, because I feel like to be true to the spirit of the game, I shouldn't give myself a choice because the goal is to read these books. But I do know that there are some long books on here, and I don't really have the time to read something like super long or like an anthology. So I think I'm gonna give myself what, like, one immunity, one get out of jail free card. What would be the word here? I'm gonna give myself one, like, no. I'm gonna give myself one no. So if the first book I generate I just can't do, I'm gonna give myself one no, and we'll go with the second book. But if the second book is also bad, I'm just gonna pick up between one of the two. So let's pick. Oh, please don't give me anything long. Don't give me anything long or an anthology. Okay, ready, set, go. 23 is Fan Service by Rosie Dannon. Okay, this is good. This is really good. This is really good because this is a new release that just came out this year, and I'm actually really excited to read it. If you know me, you know I love a good shifter novel. And I have a couple up there, but I know one of them was the anthology, and I did not want to do that right now. This one is kind of long. I do not. Oh, there's like an excerpt from another of her books. So how long is this? 415? 415 is a lot for a romance novel to me. I do not think romance novels should really be over like too much over like 320. I feel like we're pushing it. We shouldn't go too much further than that. But this is good. This is okay. I'm happy with this. I am happy with this. This is good. I just got this, I think this came out like last month. Okay. Do we just want to see what the next book would have been? Okay. We'll just generate. It would have been number 50. And that would have been The Vampire Queen's Servant. And you know what? That would have been probably a good one because I have had that on my shelf for a good little minute. And I think I also have it on like Kindle Unlimited. But the thing is, I just read like something like, I don't know, Punk 57 gives, especially this version of it, gives like self-published vibes. And that book gives self-published vibes. Not saying self-published is bad. I'm just talking about literally like the printing in the book and the feel of the book and the look of the cover and back. So I want something, you know, a little bit more traditionally published, just so we're in like a different sphere. And I already DNF'd the contemporary at the beginning of this video, so I think, you know, we did contemporary, we did, I don't know if this is actually self-published, but it does have self-published vibes. Let me see. And maybe it started off self-published and then it got picked up. Yeah, this looks like self-published to me. Yeah, so this is like, I believe, self-published or indie published. And now we're going with a paranormal romance that is traditionally published. I feel like we've gotten a good sphere. We've gotten a good mix of things. This will be good. Okay. Last book of the video is Fan Service by Rosie Danan. Let's hope it's good. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Rosie Danan, did she write? No, that was, okay. There's this book called The Fake Mate, but that's by Lana Ferguson. And I was gonna say, ooh, I might be a little nervous for Rosie Danan because I didn't, like, The Fake Mate was like written well, but the main character was kind of just kind of a little bit annoying, and I soft DNF that one. But this is a different author, so I'm excited to jump into this. So let's go ahead and get started. Good morning. It is, I think, like 5 a.m. I don't know why I'm awake. I've been up for a few hours now. But I have some shrimp chips. I have some Pocky cookies and cream. And Frost Cool Thirst Quencher Glacier Freeze Gatorade. And I have my book. Okay, I'm like 25 pages in. And I have been like giggling a little kicking of the feet, just a tiny bit. But where I am now in the story, it's early, but I just know this would have been so good as a fan fiction, because we would have got things moving faster, you know? Things would have been moving faster, and this book wouldn't be like, depending on the fiction. Because some people love to write their 100K words, but some people get that 50,000 words snappy, and it's great. And I feel like this would have been so good as a fan fiction, because we would have got moving faster. And I know we about to have some more just like building happen in this like next part. I'm just like, can we just get to the action? I just want to see stuff start going down. Not that what's happening or what will happen in the building is going to be not good. It's just that I'm ready for the story to begin. I'm ready for it to begin, you know? There's a thing this book is doing where it's like using a lot of like modern day stuff, but also in a way that, you know, it's supposed to be like viewed through the lens of like a millennial, because the main characters are millennials. But there's this young kid, and they said, "You think I don't know about ghosting? Therapists on TikTok say you have to make yourself vulnerable to find love." And then a little later, our main character says, "Gen Z is so mean." And I'm just like, please stop. But it's not like horrible. In a way, I'm like, if it does it one more time, I'm putting this book down and I'll never read. I can't go on. It's just like, oh my gosh. Cringy, but we're still having a good time. Okay, I'm out and about. We're like 40 pages into fan service. This is kind of funny, kind of cute. It has this little cringy moments, but it's kind of funny, kind of cute. Also, it's raining outside, as you can see. My mother went into the grocery store, and I'm just sitting in the car waiting for her. I realized I did not bring a pencil, so I'm just going through her car right now, looking for one. That's the update for now. Back to reading if I can find a pencil, because I am annotating this book, because it just, you know, sometimes the book is too funny and I have to leave a history of me laughing at the craziness inside. So I'm in desperate need of a pencil. Okay, we have finally did it. I finished fan service and I'm gonna have to give it a 5. Like, is it the most perfect 5? I don't know. But I had to give it a 5 just based on how much fun I had while reading it. Almost all of my marginalia says LOL, LOL, haha, hee hee. Because it was so cute. It was so cute and fun. And it's very into fandom culture. And I'm also into fandom culture and all the AO3 references, just like it's written by a fan. This book is written by a fan, and it was just like so much fun to read. So I had to give it a 5 because I just purely enjoyed myself. Now, there were some jokes here. The jokes in here were very, I think the youth might say millennial-ish, but I thought they were still fun. They were still fun. And there was definitely some like cringy stuff said. And I was like, but it was like fun cringe, not like, oh, this is a bad book cringe. So, and there was a lot of like inclusivity. I feel like it was hitting all the markers, but I was fine with it. Hit the markers, I'd rather have an inclusive book than an exclusive book. And I just had such a good time. And also, I just really love werewolves. And I love the tropes that come with werewolves. So like anytime like feral werewolves, loss of self, I eat it up. So I ate it up and I had such a good time. So all in all, I feel like this video was a success. Not only did I give a book a 5-star, I think I've only given 2 or 3 other 5 stars so far this year. And I also got books off my TBR. So I freed up space on my bookshelf, and those books that I DNF'd, the book that I DNF, I've already given it away. Punk 57, I also enjoy, and that was a 4-star. So we have 1 DNF, but my heart knew that book wasn't staying for long. And I got a 4, and then I got a 5. So this was like a really good, this is a really good video. So I don't know what genre I want to read from next. I might do fiction, which is all behind me, or I could possibly do YA. Because I've had some YA books up there that has been up there since I was in high school that are still on my TBR. So you'll just have to wait and see. But thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.